Welcome to the Write Your Own Story podcast. I'm your host, Betsy Leonidas, and the founder of the Write Your Own Story company. Girl, I can tell you right now, you are definitely enough. Here we value service, sisterhood, connection, laughter, and that super genuine, keep it real, tell you like it is honesty. My hope is at the end of each episode, you realize you can do whatever it is you dream about and that you are not alone with what you struggle with. I'm hoping that you are snapping and clapping and hell yes in your way through each one of these episodes. So if this tracks with you, let's get started. I'm so glad you're here. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the latest episode of the Write Your Own Story podcast. I am your host, Betsy Leonidas, and I am so excited to be here with my tennis bestie and total badass, Abby Allen.
Yay!
Yay. Oh, thank you so much.
I'm so excited to be here too.
Yeah, we're going to have so much fun. So the way Abby and I know each other is we fell in love on a tennis court.
We did.
We just randomly got put together in doubles tennis, and we played on the same team for a long time, but never got matched up together.
Right.
And then somehow we were warming up and we were both just so you know, I love to win. And I believe those were a direct quote from you.
Probably.
Yes. And then we just started chatting about work and realized that we have such overlap from a marketing, advertising, branding, storytelling perspective, and that we just align sort of energetically. And now we're just attached souls for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
I actually said, oh, you're the one with the other 917 number in the tennis group chat.
Yes.
I was I've been wondering who that was, and I was so excited.
It's me. Yes. 917.
So it's a New York area code.
Yes, everyone. It is, everyone. Those were the days. But yes, and it has been an absolute honor and pleasure to get to know you both on and off the court. And I'm so excited that you're here. I love what you stand for. I love the work that you're doing. And it is so important. This conversation is going to be so important for women. And so restorative for women. And I think it will unlock a level of peace and this really just sort of positive exploration that the world needs right now. And I just can't wait to talk about your business as well. So one quick production note, Ethan, if you're listening, she's not wearing the pink headphones. I was I'm going to call you out on this and make fun of you. Yes. I have to keep them on so I can make sure our volume levels are good. Plus, I just really love them. But it's really important that Abby's hair is high and bright and big and bold. And I support that. I support that.
And as women, it's important that we own the things we love about ourselves. 100%. And I love my hair and I straightened it for the first 12 or 13 years of my life.
No.
Yeah. Oh. So, and then I reclaimed it.
Yep.
So the natural hair thing is really important.
I freaking love your hair. I love your hair.
Thank you, Betsy.
So I will always support. I'm nope, and we'll pause if it starts to droop, but something tells me it's okay. No, just positive flow. But I love it. Okay. All jokes aside, as everyone listening knows, I really love to set every episode up with an intention, both to ground us in our conversation, to keep us sort of honest and on track, and how we're here to show up to serve, because that's truly what this podcast is for, but also for the listeners to know what to expect. And because we are marketing queens, we were really intentional about the wording of this. So I'm going to just read it directly. We really want to open hearts and minds to reconnecting with our own humanity. That is both in benefit for ourselves and for the world around us. And we're going to dive all into what that means. But I just want everyone to just kind of pause and take a breath for a second and think about, what does that mean to reconnect to ourselves and to our own humanity, right? This is such a beautiful concept when it comes to healing the world. It truly starts from within, which I really think is the synopsis. Spoiler alert, that's what we're going to talk about. So I will quickly read. One of the things that I love that what you're up to is this Sweet Gum Manor, this amazing venture that you have started. So I'm going to just quickly read the bio for that, because I want people to also know how this is going to we're going to start broad and then we're going to funnel down to what this is, because I want to support you and support your business. And I'm so grateful for what you're up to. I'm going to like to kick us off that way. And then I'm going to make you talk about yourself. So get ready to be uncomfortable.
Okay.
Great. All right. Sweet Gum Manor is the first ever social sanctuary, a hybrid community and social space focused on wellness, creativity, and connection. The property is a unicorn, 4.5 acres nested in the heart of Cincinnati, now turned into an urban oasis. The minute you step onto the land, you feel transported. I have been personally, and I can attest to that. The vision for Sweet Gum Manor is from Abby's deep yearning for community and connection coming out of the pandemic. She wanted to create a space that is beautiful and peaceful and safe to support her while trying to navigate what's going on in the world. A place where people can feel free from endless negativity and noise in their social feeds, even if it's only for a few hours. Sweet Gum Manor is a place where you can both be with people, but have the time and space for quiet and reflection. The manor is named after the Ohio native sweet gum trees in the backyard of the property, valued for their healing powers, tough on the outside, healing within, like humanity itself. Sweet Gum Manor is where everyone feels like they belong and where everyone leaves with a rejuvenated spirit that's contagious to those around them. I mean, okay. Yes, please. I'll take one of those.
Yes. Thank you.
You're so welcome. The space is truly beautiful. I've been there for an art event, and it's just, even from a design perspective, it's just delicious. But the energy that flows through it and the intention behind it and the people that fill it, it's just, you're doing the good work. Yeah. You're so welcome. Okay, girl, let's get you sweaty. So tell us about your
the sweaty palms.
I know, although it's an icebox in this room, because this room is over the garage and it's never warm. So we have blankets on hand.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself. For those who don't have the good fortune to play tennis with you, give us a little background. Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about your journey and how you landed in Cincinnati.
So I am a native New Yorker, which means born and raised. It's funny. I just saw this meme going around about, can you call yourself a New Yorker if you weren't born there? I kind of don't think you can.
Yeah.
So I am one of those.
Yeah.
I lived there for most of my life. I went to Columbia, like I'm diehard.
Yeah.
And then moved to LA because I love moving around. And I think it's really important to understand different kinds of people and different markets, not only because I have a marketing company, but because I'm dedicated to my own evolution and I don't ever want to get caught in a bubble.
Yeah.
So I actually, speaking of bubbles, I also lived in Boulder.
Oh, really?
I literally moved to Boulder because I wanted to go to a place where I would really, really stand out and feel that discomfort and work through it. Yeah. Wow. And it was extremely uncomfortable. Gosh. Even though it's a beautiful place.
Truly.
Yeah.
That's so honest. That gives me such to ponder and think about. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Like we talk about dating apps, like literally I would go to yoga and some dude would be like, I saw you on this dating, like, or on the street.
Yeah.
So it was like,
because you're so memorable because you were so different.
So it was like, what does that feel like? And then I ultimately made my way to LA just because got to go to LA and live there for a while. And then it was 2016, 17 around then. And I had this like intuitive hit that for my business, my marketing business, Neon Butterfly, to move to the next level, I needed to like get away from an environment that was so competitive and ambitious, because I am that way in general. And it was like feeling too much. And also the election was coming up and we wanted, my partner and I, to go to a swing state. Like we got tired of people complaining about, people on the coast complaining about the rest of the country. Like the rest of the country is to blame. And we're like, let's get out of this blaming thing. And let's take our vote somewhere and like actually do something about it. And I had known Cincinnati because I worked at a million ad agencies coming out of college. And my first client was Olay, and it was a P&G brand. So I had been coming here since like 2001. And then my brother went to law school here and he lives here. So we're like, okay.
Right. Great.
Of all the swing states, of all the kind of up and coming cities, even though Cincinnati's been here.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's go to Cincinnati. And I feel like it's a gem. Still feel that way that people are missing out on. So we moved, and then I was going back and forth between here and LA. And literally, as I signed the lease on an office in LA, I came back and the pandemic hit.
Oh, shit.
So, But during that, I did succeed in growing my business like triple fold during the pandemic, which was great.
That's amazing.
And so that was huge. And then I started realizing like, okay, things are kind of like people are starting to seem sad and depressed and overwhelmed, even as we started coming out of the pandemic.
Totally.
Right. And all the stats on depression and mental health issues and suicide and loneliness from all age groups, all races, and then feeling my own like
versions
heart.
Of that.
Yeah. Like, sure. I'm like, wait, I don't remember how to interact with people, or I'm afraid, or my feed feels like it's just full of sadness, you know?
Yeah.
And I have been studying Tibetan Buddhism and yoga for many years and have many yoga teacher trainings. And I'm like, okay, now's the time to practice like hardcore, and also time to share what you have learned. And it came to me in a vision, ish. Like,
I love that.
It's
That's
time
so
to do this.
Yep.
But I didn't know how. So like everybody and their mother, it felt like at some point, like as we were coming out of the pandemic, was like starting a retreat center, like in upstate New York or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, it doesn't quite feel right. So even in Cincinnati, I started looking at places like out in the country, like New Richmond. And I was like, like it feels, I don't want to be separated from the city.
Right.
And
we've been separated for so long.
Yeah. Like let's come together. And I noticed that people weren't taking long retreats anymore, even myself.
Yeah.
Right. So like, is there a way we can offer this kind of retreat type feeling to people without them having to take time off?
Yes.
Figure out what to do with their kids.
100%.
So then we saw that this property became available around the corner from our house.
Which is insane.
You
guys, it is literally in North Avondale. Is that what you're calling it?
It's on the Avondale, North Avondale disputed zone.
Okay.
Which I love that it's both.
Yeah.
So it's in the hood, technically.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that because I want it to be for everyone, and it's not separate. It's not separate from people.
Yeah.
From all people.
And like, what a beautiful juxtaposition that it's like in the quote unquote hood.
Yeah.
And it is
I don't even like saying that.
I know. And it's just like, so that is like societal's view of that area.
Yes,
and then there's this like large property, which no property in that space is like, you know, it's like quarter acre lots, right?
Exactly.
And so like you have this beautiful sweeping land with this wonderful home radiating this energy of just like peace and connection. And like, I don't know, it's just,
it's incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And I have to say, pay homage to Dr. Odell Owens, who was the previous owner. And many, many people obviously in Cincinnati know of him. There's a street named after him. And he was a pioneer in IVF in Cincinnati, and, you know, a Black doctor. And I mean, I can't even list all his accomplishments, but he was most recently the coroner. Anyway, it was his property. Yeah. And like Coretta Scott King stayed there, Maya Angelou, like in the 50s.
Really?
Yeah, because he was taken in by another Black doctor, Dr. Buford. So what's been super amazing is that people in Avondale and other places in Cincinnati find themselves at our house and they're like, oh my God, I used to come here as a child.
Wow.
Or I knew that this property existed, but I never went up the hill.
Yeah. Cause you kind of have to go, you have to like truly like climb the hill to get there.
So when it became available, I was like, not trying to move or anything, but I was like, I have to see it.
Yeah.
And then I just got this feeling. I was like, I have to do it. If it takes all my savings, if it like this can like save people, and it can save myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Which, I mean, again, coming full circle to the intention, like the quickest way you can save somebody is to save yourself. Exactly. And I just love that, like, I've been doing plenty of reflecting and looking forward for 2025. And this notion of, as you had said, you were like, I had this intuitive feeling that this is something that I needed to create, but I didn't know how or where. And then if you sit with that and hold space for that long enough, that kind of information will present itself. But the hardest part about setting an intention or a goal or anything is letting go of the how and the when. God, it's impossible. I'm like, how about now?
Yes.
But you held enough space for it and kept an open heart for it. And then here arrives this beautiful property and you go and sit there and you're like, without a shadow of a doubt, all my savings on the line, I'm all chips in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I do want to, this is a good point. I think a lot of people are talking about manifesting now. There's some
totally.
app
Such
that's
a hot
like
word.
whatever.
Yeah.
And yes, I 100% believe in manifesting, but you must also be willing to like take a huge risk.
Yeah.
And I want to give like kudos to all the women out there who are like taking the risks. It's not just like, oh yeah, I want to do this and I'm going to put it out in the universe. Yes. And
yes. And
there's a lot of blood. There's a lot of trust. There's a lot of faith.
Yes.
Behind that.
Yes.
Like every day.
Every day.
Every day.
And you have to show up for it.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
It's this notion of like, just let it go. Well, yes, let go of how it comes to fruition and when it comes to fruition, but you have to check in with yourself every day and connect to the feeling that you want to have working towards this, connect to that feeling and keep one day at a time. How am I working towards this goal? And it will come true.
And find your people, which is a good segue too into one of the main things with Sweet Gum is connection, right? So again, IRL beats URL every time.
Oh, is that a tattoo or something?
Exactly.
At least a coffee mug.
Yeah. So yeah, just like having your support, like even me and you talking about like on the tennis court in the middle of a match.
Oops, that's what we always do.
Right?
Yeah.
About each other and what we're doing. Yeah. And we need that. Like us having that conversation about you and how you're busting your butt to like create your business. And then it gave me like the fuel I needed that day to keep going.
Yeah.
So at Sweet Gum, you know, we offer memberships and events and invite people to come because I want to bring people together who are trying to work on their own evolution, raise their own consciousness, and frankly, go against the grain, right?
Yeah.
Because we all know we need to create new systems. We need to create new ways of being so that we can live more harmoniously with ourselves, each other, and the planet of which we are a part, not separate.
Right? I mean, truly, if you think about it, like, you know what it's like to be in a room or to be at dinner with someone and you can just sense when they're just twisted in knots and or not present or pissed off about something. And like to be in their company, truly, like you have to hold on to every shred of your own being because it just pulls and pulls and pulls it away. And what I feel like, and what I'm going to segue us into is sort of setting the stage for what the world feels like, because we're going to start broad and figure out how we can peel back those layers into what Sweet Gum is truly after here. But, you know, when I think about just this one-on-one experience, let's play this out for a sec. Like, you know, you're holding on to your own humanity because someone else's energy is like, truly, it can be a vacuum. And if you think about that and multiply that by humanity, that is why the work has to begin on yourself. And it's so easy to slip back into, myself included, the like victimhood mentality or everything is hard mentality or I have showed up, where is it mentality? And all those feelings are valid, but it's on you and only you can control how you feel on the inside, how you react to situations around you. And what I love is that Sweet Gum and the work that you're doing raises that in such a conscious way to be like, we can't heal anything unless we continue to heal ourselves. Yes. And I just think that that's such an obvious example that sometimes we overlook is like, or like, you know, for all the moms out there, when your kid like comes home and is so grumpy from school and you're like, okay, I'm going to dig deep here and we're going to raise the vibe of this house. It's just, and again, this is how we do it. And you start within. So this is what I love. Hey, busy moms and aspiring entrepreneurs. If you want to learn how to build a high-income business in just 20 hours a week so you can enjoy more time with your kids, all while transforming yourself from overwhelmed to confident in just 90 days, then you need to check out my masterclass. I'm Betsy, a busy mom of 4 and a business coach obsessed with helping women just like you build thriving businesses that fit your life, not the other way around. After 20 years in marketing and building my own nonprofit and e-commerce business, I know exactly what it takes to go from overwhelmed to
empowered. That's why I created my self-paced digital masterclass designed to help you move forward with clarity and confidence. So whether you're starting from scratch or recalibrating an existing business, my masterclass will take you from stuck and overwhelmed to simplified, organized, confident, and clear in your next steps. If you want to learn things like how to create a successful business that aligns with your personal life and brings you happiness, if you want to learn how to acquire the confidence and strategies needed to overcome self-doubt and thrive in your entrepreneurial journey, if you want to obtain the knowledge and tools to take control of your business finances with confidence, if you want to gain essential skills and strategies to effectively promote your business with confidence and ease, and if you want to discover practical strategies and systems to manage the challenges of entrepreneurship, then you should absolutely check out the 5-section self-paced digital masterclass from the Female Founders Academy. It's just $597, plus every course comes with free worksheets to guide you through. Learn on your own time, at your own pace, in the privacy of your home. So if you want to learn how to build a high-income business in just 20 hours a week so you can enjoy more time with your kids, all while transforming yourself from overwhelmed to confident in just 90 days, then visit writeyourownstory.co/FFA-courses or click the link in the show notes below.
But okay, so transitioning into us, let's set the stage, and let's talk about some of the things that we're trying to heal. So when we think about the world, what does the world feel like? I mean, we know we're politically divided. We know that the screens are sort of forever feeding us whatever it is that they're feeding us. How does the world feel to you? And how is that inspiring the work that you're doing?
Yeah. So the world feels so scary.
Yeah.
And, especially for people in marginalized groups.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. So that's why I always personally try to remove things from the political sphere, because really it's about humanity.
Yeah.
None of us are doing okay. None of us think that things are working. And that's actually ironically what we have in common right now.
Yeah.
Right? Is none of us feel okay.
Yeah.
And so I always start with myself before offering things to other people. It's how am I feeling? I'm feeling I'm scrolling and it's a shopping mall. Mm-hmm. And then there's these tips and tricks for maybe someone's pushing something on me, and maybe it's a quick fix for my stress or whatever. And now it's instead of drinking, spend all your money on not drinking. You know what I mean? It's it feels like everything's just go buy something to fix yourself, right? Whatever it is,
Yes.
Yes. I was thinking about this morning, and this new warning about drinking causing cancer. I'm oh, right. But then I started thinking, wait, is that a ploy so that we just go buy the non-alcoholic beverages and the gummy and whatever next, what I mean?
The
and
next commercialized thing.
No,
I don't know.
Let's come back to what's true. And this is why I'm okay, I got to give people, and I want to give people at Sweet Gum the chance to come back to what's true for them and what's true now.
Yeah.
In the present moment, because what's true for you now also changes.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And 100%. What's true for you and what might help your healing is different from me, right? But what's the same is that we have an inner compass, each of us, that we can tune into. Mm-hmm. And so what I love about Sweet Gum and what makes it so different is that it's my home.
Yeah, literally.
As well, literally.
Yeah, she literally lives there. Yeah.
And so that affects the vibe. And I want people to have a place where they feel at home.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I have a home outside.
Yeah. Is that part of the scared feeling that you feel? You don't feel like you have a safe place.
Yes. And I've heard this from many people.
I feel the same way, but I have a feeling we don't feel safe for very different reasons.
Right.
Well, I'm sure we have overlap. Don't get me wrong. But but I am not as much of a minority as you are. Yes. And I honor that completely. And where, we all feel lack of safety from our life experiences, but also for how the world sort of reflects our value or lack thereof back and our worth. And I don't know, that's kind of when I sit there and I think, and I do constantly feel unsettled. And if I really try and dig through as to why, I'm curious as to what your answer is.
Yeah, the unsettled. So I also want to say Black and brown people are a global majority. So
truly.
Not a minority.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's important because language matters.
No, I appreciate you saying
that.
Yeah,
and this idea of it's good because I get to say it.
Yeah.
And it changed my perception of myself when somebody said it to me.
Yes. You're like, I'm not a minority.
Yeah, we're actually a global majority. And this idea of putting us into like, oh, you're only a small group.
Yeah.
Diminishes your power. Same with women.
Yes.
Right. So, and it's happening more and more. So,
oh my God, this is such great perspective.
Yeah.
My heart just like literally just opened up even more. This is so appreciative. Yeah.
So, I don't feel safe because I also feel like there are people just forcing their views and opinions on both sides at you.
Yes.
Yeah. But in all honesty too, I mean, let's be real. If there's somebody who is saying women, taking away women's rights, taking away all sorts of rights, I mean, then, and you are of that group.
Right.
How are you to feel there's safe? A bumper sticker that you see while you're driving, you don't feel safe. No. You just don't.
No.
You know, because that sticker represents your annihilation.
Yeah.
So how do I feel safe?
Totally.
100%. And I have heard so many people say this.
Yes.
And
scared for myself, scared for my daughter.
Exactly. If anything, and just the anger, everyone's so angry.
Yes.
Everyone.
Because they don't feel seen,
myself included. Yeah. So that's why, like, I was, when we were emailing, I was telling you like a small practice I'm trying to do at stoplights is just smile at the person in the car next to me, whoever they are and whatever sticker they have on their car.
Yeah. You know what's so crazy? This is where we probably are different. I smile at everyone, but if I smile at someone in the car next to me, I'm worried they're going to come and attack me.
Oh, I'm worried too.
Okay. I'm scared shitless. How are you so brave to smile? I'm like, keep your head down. No one will mess with you if you don't even look at them.
Because we have to, because this is where we have lost touch with our shared humanity.
Yeah.
And what's crazy and so cool is that if you do it when you are scared and you have we all have preconceived notions about whatever that person looks like. We're like, oh, they're like this, they do this, they drive this.
Yeah.
And then if they smile back at you with this big thing and you're like, oh yes.
There we are, just two humans.
Yes. And I got over my fear and they got over theirs.
Okay. I love that.
And they won't smile every time, but usually they will.
Yeah.
And it really does start with each of us. And it sounds corny maybe, but and that changed, that just affected my energy and it affected theirs, which means whoever we interact with next is going to benefit from that energy.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And like, I mean, it almost becomes like gamified. You're like,
for real,
how many people can I like with my positive energy?
Yes.
I love that.
And so at Sweet Gum, we're trying to teach different ways, like easy ways to do that.
Yeah.
And so of course we all know self-care, self-love. It's almost become like a throwaway term.
Take a bubble bath. You'll be fine.
Yeah. And again, I love bubble baths.
Fine.
Right. But it's like also setting your intention.
Yeah.
I'm taking a bubble bath and I'm taking care of myself so that I can be of service.
Yeah.
For others.
Yeah.
Not to be more productive.
Yeah.
But to be of service.
Truly.
So I can be kinder so that even I don't erupt at my partner or at my kids or right. So I just expand my capacity, so that when I'm on the tennis court and I have to deal with some nonsense that I know could be race related or whatever related, it doesn't wreck my whole day.
Yeah. Well, my response to that. I'm like, I'm sorry. What did you just say to my tennis partner?
Yes.
I'm like,
you're
welcome. I turn into a full she-beast.
Yes.
Because I have no tolerance for this shit. And some people, like, I made an honest mistake on the show, not knowing that brown and black people are globally
the majority. Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you for telling me that. And I'm so sorry that I didn't know that. But like, is it lack of awareness? Is it lack of perception of what you said just actually sucked? I don't know, but I will be here to remind people that we don't do that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course. I will do my best.
And I want to say that too. It's like, again, in the spirit of we are all humans and we are doing the best we can with the tools that we have.
Yes.
Which means we have to be willing to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be willing to say the wrong thing as we learn.
Mm-hmm.
And part of raising our consciousness is becoming more and more aware. And then it is our responsibility to change our behavior.
Right. And to graciously accept that you were wrong and do something different the next time. 100%.
Like, for instance, I have my assistant, Kara, is an amazing human.
Mm-hmm.
They go by they, them.
Yeah.
Do I make a mistake and say her, she all the time? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And then I correct myself because I'm not perfect. No. I'm human and I'm working on it.
Yeah. God.
You know?
Yes.
That's it.
It's literally it.
Yes.
That's literally it.
Yeah. And if you do this work on yourself, just literally even take 2 minutes just to breathe and come into your own heart. Notice where you're feeling rage or anger or fear or whatever. Then you can show up and not force that on the other person. You're not afraid that someone who looks different than you or might think differently from you, they're not a threat to you anymore.
Yes. Why does everyone feel like a threat?
Yeah.
Isn't that so true?
Yes.
Sometimes our partners feel like threats.
Yes.
And then, you're really in the shitter when your friends start to feel like threats. You're like, wait, you were my safest human. And why am I like...
Exactly.
You just feel like a cat back against the wall.
Yes. And one of my teachers said one time, if you're pointing a finger at someone, there are 3 pointing back at you.
Truth. And
so
then
always go back.
And you have to make the space to figure out what they're saying to you. What are those fingers? I am currently in a mood like that, where like I am so triggered in one space and I'm like, I don't feel safe in this one space, but I'm like, girl, that's on you. What is it? Because I know when my feelings are this, like, I feel like a volcano is just like inside. I know the truth to me runs like very peaceful and horizontal in a lower section of my soul and my body. But when I'm feeling like these like big feelings that are shooting up and down, I'm like, that's not your truth. I've just learned that in my own healing journey. I was like, that's a trigger. That's your own shit. It's something maybe, a stimulus may be making you feel that way, but you're in control for figuring out what the root of that is. And is that true? Do you need to remove yourself from a situation? Do you need to confront a situation? Right. Do you have some work to do? Do you just need to talk to yourself?
Right.
And I don't know. That's just
Can I ask you, where are you not feeling safe these days?
I have a hard time feeling everywhere. Literally everywhere. It's true. Like I often fear for my physical safety. And that is just something that has run through me since I was a kid. And so it is like where some people go walking in the woods and someone passes by, especially a man, and they're just like, hello. And I'm like,
that's me.
I'm like, where's my knife? Just in case. Yeah. It runs deep in me. And that's something I'm like, this poor person is just also here to like look at trees. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck me, fuck you. Like, right. And I'm just scared. So physical safety is a big one. And then emotional safety is always a big one too, because I'm such a lover and such a giver, and I just pour into people. And, I have to constantly just meet people where they are. And like, I can't expect that love. Also, I have to give that love to myself and not expect that to come from external sources. And so sometimes when like, especially in relationships with friends, people, family members, I have to check in with myself a lot with the 3 fingers pointing at me.
Yes, exactly. And then also knowing when to have like firm boundaries.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also in firm boundaries, I have learned in my healing is not just sort of the metaphorical walls that you put around yourself. It's actually asking for what you need.
Yes.
So it's an invitation versus a wall. I'm great at building walls. I'm like, watch this. Nobody can reach me. Right. For such a loving, giving person, it's amazing how quickly I can wall up. And I'm like, look, I built a boundary when that is actually not the definition of the boundary. The boundary is, to your point, the bravery to take down your fear and to invite someone in and tell them what you need and to see and to not hold any power in their reaction.
Exactly. And to notice when you're overgiving and why.
Yes, totally.
Is it to
That's a good one.
Make sure that people like you, because that's one that I struggle with.
Because that's where we feel safest. If you're admired, or if you feel like you're adding value, you feel safe. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
And and like, you've lived in New York. It's like, and again, as being women, right? It's like, if you're the one that has everything under control, you're the one that like is on top of everything, we get rewarded for that. Right. So that's something that's ingrained. But then like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be all things to all people. And I can't be, frankly.
Yeah.
Right. So having those boundaries, noticing when you're tired.
Yes.
Noticing.
Hungry.
Hungry.
Yeah.
What environments deplete you? What people deplete you? And also you can love people and not like them. I think that's a very important distinction, because I think in the spiritual world and wellness world, we get into this Pollyanna, I'm going to like jump over. Oh, I love like, I have to like everything that everyone's doing, and love means like accepting all. And it doesn't. It means I can see their humanity.
Yeah.
But I see that they're suffering, right?
Yeah.
Hurt people. So to keep myself safe, I'm going to keep a distance.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be violent towards them.
No.
But I recognize,
Yeah, it's so true. I think that's the most beautiful way to put it, is that you see people's humanity and you can see their pain, but it is also not yours to fix.
Exactly.
And you get to decide if you can show up as you in that space. And if not, you can remove yourself from a place of love.
Exactly. And I also like to say, like, again, back to this, worrying about yourself, staying on your side of the street, which again does not mean that you don't help others.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does not.
Yeah.
It means take care of yourself and.
Yeah. Yes.
And help the firefighters in LA and help the displaced people there. And again, just smile at the person next to you, because you don't know what they've been through.
Truly.
You don't know what they're going through. You don't know. So for me, a big one is sitting in traffic. So everyone here drives a little more slowly than I'm accustomed to.
True story. Not me though.
So I work on just being patient and thinking, okay, maybe they're distracted because something's going on at home. Maybe because I really don't know.
Right.
And I have been in that situation, whereas I really am rushing because there's an emergency.
Yeah.
So just constantly reminding yourself that you don't know what anyone's going through.
I need to think about that the few times I venture to the mall. I'm like, why is everyone walking so slow?
Oh my God.
I know. But to your point, you don't know.
You don't know
why they're all walking so slow.
You don't.
I wonder.
And then it's like, why is it bothering me so much?
So much.
Right. Then you're forced to look at your own values.
Right.
System.
There comes those three fingers pointing right back at me.
Right back at you.
Why can't you slow down, Betsy?
Yeah.
Why does everyone
Why
have
are
to
we rushing?
Why are we rushing?
Yeah, exactly.
This is a beautiful place with beautiful stores full of beautiful people who are just trying to relax and get some dopamine from buying some stuff.
Right. Even though it'll be short-lived.
Right. And even though we're still going so slow. But I do, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be tongue in cheek after you made the most beautiful point. I'm like, yeah, but seriously, can someone talk to me about them all? But I'm like, I'm not my best.
Or
self
the grocery store.
I don't go. I have it delivered just for that sole reason.
Ethan goes.
Oh, bless you, Ethan. Can I send you my order?
Exactly. Yes. So maybe this is a good time for us to take a pause and do a little practice.
Yes.
So here's the thing. Yes. Meditating doesn't have to be some big thing that you have to set aside all this time for. That's one thing. And the second thing is, there's no being good at it. Your mind will come at you with lots of thoughts, because that's like the ego's thing. It wants you to get carried away with all your little narratives. So all day long, you can do this little practice.
Yes.
That's 4, 6, 8. And we're going to do it now. So it's 4 counts in, hold for 6, and exhale for 8.
Okay.
And you do that 3 times, and you can do it just whenever, but especially when you're starting to feel triggered, or when you're like, I don't know what decision to make. I don't know. It just recenters you.
Okay.
So let's do it.
I'm ready. It's time.
Okay. Let your eyes close. And just take a few regular breaths. Notice if your heart's beating fast. Just notice. And then we're going to start. Just inhale for 4. Hold. And then slow exhale for 8. Inhale for 4. Hold for 6. Exhale for 8. One more. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. And let your eyes flutter open.
Oh, that felt so delightful.
And notice how the energy in the whole room changed,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So like I noticed my heart was beating very quickly.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's, so that's just something that can be done anytime.
Anytime.
Like I have to do it when I go to the store, like you're
Yeah.
saying, or in traffic.
It's so good because like when we think about, okay, this is just my own thought process. So guide me through this. But when I think about, I know that I need to find the peace within myself in order to spread that sort of peace and light or into the world. But our thoughts can just be an absolute train wreck, you know, going so fast, 1,000,000 miles an hour. And so sometimes we don't have the space within our day. We've got to get the kids on the bus. We've got to get to a meeting, et cetera, to unwind and tell ourselves the proper story and to really, kind of untangle the mess. So that breathing just gives you the space.
Exactly.
And then also this notion of smiling and shedding love somewhere else, like returns you back to yourself way faster than rewriting the story in your head.
Exactly.
'Cause that takes a hot minute.
Yeah. And the stories will keep coming.
They sure
That's the
will.
thing.
Yes.
And the thing about if you make it a practice to stop, pause, breathe, the story that you were just thinking about is gone.
It's gone.
And there's a new one already there.
Yeah.
So then you start to gain this space between your thoughts.
Yeah.
So you become less reactive because we're also reactive.
The space between your thoughts. When I was trying to describe that sort of feeling where I know I'm triggered, that's a great way to put it, where I feel my energy running like very vertically, but there is no space in my thoughts. Or like, is anyone, for all of our tennis friends out there, when you all of a sudden you get in your head, you're up the first set and you get in your head the second set, there's no space in the thoughts. Yes. And how many times do we say to each other, we're either like about work or feelings or friends, or we're like, return to your body. We're just like two Tibetan monks.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, right.
We're athletes.
Breath, right. And I'm like, we're both like, get back in your body. Your body is built to do this.
Yes.
You are an athlete.
Yeah.
Go have some fun.
Exactly.
And like, oh, maybe there's like a beautiful analogy there that like, go back to your body, love somebody. We are all built to love.
Yes.
Go do what you do best and go have some fun and spread some love in the world.
Exactly.
And that is the quickest way.
Small thing.
A small thing.
Anything.
Yeah.
You know what another good one is that I used to do?
Ooh, let's do it.
Putting money into people's parking meters.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. If you're downtown or wherever, just put a little extra.
Just a little boop.
Yeah. It's amazing because what it does, it's not even for them. It's for you. It's for you.
It is for you.
Yeah.
One little thing I like to do is just send a text. Send the text. Just literally like, hey, I was thinking of you. I think you're great.
Yeah.
The end.
It was even with you. I felt terrible because I said I was going to call you back and I didn't the same day. And and then it's like, then I know we all get into this place where like after it's been a long time, then you're like, I have to. But no, just do it. Just do it.
Right. Just
everybody is struggling with the same stuff, kind of.
Truly.
It's just different flavors.
Different flavors and different narrative loops in the head.
Yes.
But I do wholeheartedly believe, and what brings me a lot of peace is to truly radically accept that everyone is doing the best they can.
Yes.
And sometimes, to your point, hurt people, and it's not acceptable. And you don't have to accept that.
Exactly.
But you can see them for their humanity, that everyone is just doing the best they can.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
God, I love this.
I know,
This is so peaceful. So this whole notion, we've talked a lot about returning to self. We've talked, we laid the landscape, but that is not unfamiliar to everyone, right? But all we can do, and I think really the point that we've continued to hit is this return to self.
Yes.
And that it is in the notion of like this sort of like outward expression of that beautiful love that we've all been given and born with. Tell me how this notion, we've started to hit on it, around like a social sanctuary where it is not just, how is Sweet Gum this place where you are equally going in, but then to connect as well? And like, where's the beauty in that?
Yes, exactly. So we need each other for multiple reasons, right? We're social creatures.
Yes.
That's the one thing. So mentally we need each other in addition to needing quiet and time alone.
Yeah.
But in order to grow and evolve, we need things to push up against, like rocks and dryer, right?
Yeah.
That's why relationships, like romantic ones, are so important, but all our relationships are so important. They're not there so that there's someone to like help you clean.
Right. Right.
They're there for someone to trigger you constantly so that you see your own crap. Yes. Which is the same with all our relationships.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's what's really important about this social sanctuary, is that I'm going to bring people together. I want people to come together so they can both be inspired and have something to press up against. Because we're not monks, right? We're not. We're living in the world.
Yeah.
So it would be very easy, as some of my teachers used to say, I mean, frankly, easier nowadays to just go sit in a cabin.
Right.
Forever and disconnect yourself. But we really need each other. And also now we need the village back because our systems aren't taking care of us.
No.
So I'm trying to create a place where we can work together to figure out what each other needs, how we can support our local community and support the work that change makers, creatives, that we're all doing so that we can create new ways of being. Yeah. I mean, I'm literally trying to like reimagine a new world that's more harmonious.
Yes.
So sanctuary, it means to me being surrounded by beauty. I think that's very important, right? A lot of times when we talk about community, we think of like church basements and like community centers, and they're just like, they're not inspiring, frankly. They're like hideous, decor wise.
Totally.
You know, and I think we have this thing sometimes in the wellness world where we're like, but it can't be ugly. It has to, pretty. It has to be austere. It has to be, we can't have luxuries. I do not believe that.
Yeah.
I think that we can have luxuries. I know they're not accessible to everybody, right? But I'm trying to make them accessible to more people.
Yeah.
So being surrounded by beauty that makes us feel good and cared for and nurtured, again, returning home. Yeah. And then also having activities that we can do that are tactile and engage our senses.
Yes.
So again, to get us back into our bodies and out of our heads, back into our hearts. And we do that through sensorial stuff.
Yes.
Right? Cooking, creating.
That is the quickest way to get into your feminine energy.
Yes, exactly. And being with one another. So obviously too, we have facilities, and in the summer we can use like a tennis court and a pool. And we're currently having trails cut so that people can take walks and just sit and be with nature. Because I also think being with nature, I mean, we know this, like it anatomically changes you and changes how you feel. It changes your electric charge just to put your feet or your hands in the dirt. Yeah. Right. And then we have deers running all over the property and bunnies and stuff. And again, but then you can come and then leave. Like one of our members came in between her phone calls, got in the hot tub. Just breathed, spent some time by herself, and then went home to her baby. But she needed that break between work calls to get out and just reconnect.
Yes.
And feel like she went away.
Yes. That's so beautiful. And I truly like, I also, what I love about your space, like you were saying, I just want to touch on the luxury piece for a bit. It's inspiring because with luxury comes the ability to, I don't know, just put lots of different special touches. And I mean, luxury is in access to the funds to be able to invest in decor, right? Like, I mean, you're everything from the fixtures to the specificity of the paint colors to the tile, like to the books on the table, to the art on the walls, and like the luxury to be able to change those things for inspiration. I don't know. You go into a space and, you know, sometimes you walk into your friend's house and you're like, oh my God, this is so much cuter than mine. And you feel less than. And in your space, it's so warm and inviting. And it's gorgeous, but there's no comparative. It's just like, this just feels like it does feel like home. You feel like you're in a home.
Yeah.
And that's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Can I take us on a tangent for, again, this is a little bit self-serving.
Love your tangents.
Right. Giddy up. But you had said that relationships, especially romantic ones, are meant to be triggering. And I have a few single friends and we all agree they absolutely are. And to your point of you could go sit in a cabin and I took a nice long break of dating and I was like, I am one with the world because nothing was triggering me. But I am not meant to be alone, to live alone, and nor are my friends. And like, how do you find the benefits when you're constantly triggered? Tell me about the beauty of being in romantic relationships when the assignment is to just be triggered.
You're right. Well, I also want to say to all the single people out there, it is totally fine to be single.
Sure.
And there are many people who perhaps might be better off that way and can have, you could even have a partner and be living in separate places. I'm a big fan of that. However it works for you. But let's say you do live with someone or you're in a partnership. It's a daily practice of recognizing, so let's say the person doesn't clean. They're not as clean as you are. Yeah. Right. And that's your value, right? Like you put a high value on like, okay, cleaner people are better.
Or I feel calm when my space is organized.
Yes, exactly. So you notice that you're being triggered because even though you've said, put this sweatshirt away a zillion times, it's still there. So then you're like, okay.
They don't care about me.
Yeah, they don't care about me. And then you start creating this whole story.
Totally.
When in reality, well, they're not thinking about you a bit, but it's not about you.
Right.
It's about them. They just don't think that it's that important.
Yeah.
Right. Because it doesn't affect them. Yeah. Other things affect them that you do.
Yeah.
So it's coming together and having those conversations where you talk about how it makes you feel versus being accusatory.
Yeah.
Like, stop doing this or don't do this. When you do X, I feel like this. Yeah. Can we try X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
So it always is putting it back on you and you taking responsibility.
Yeah. 100%.
For how you feel.
I feel like that hits also for all my marrieds out there who have been in this for a long time and are just like, I feel like you're hitting the midway point and you're tired.
Yeah, you're tired.
But what a gift you have to have someone to love.
Yes. But also you can take like breaks. I mean, again, I'm very into, we have not figured out relationships.
Yeah.
Like 100%. And I don't think we ever will. I think that's part of the beauty of them is how do we figure this out together?
Yeah.
How do we try something new?
Yeah.
Because the traditional models, right? They were created at a time when, I don't know, you had like 6 kids, maybe 3 of them died.
Right. Literally.
Literally.
They got a snake bite when you were crossing the river.
Exactly. Yeah. We died at like 40 or something. So this idea of like being with the same person for like
ever
100 years, like that's a lot.
Yeah.
So, we need to come up with new ways to navigate these things.
Yeah.
But it always comes back to you.
It really does.
Always,
Yeah.
And also if you need to get out of something, get out of it.
Yes.
But then there's also some of us get out of things too early because we're like, oh, it's the person. There's somebody better out there.
Yeah.
That I'm going to find by scrolling.
Right.
Everybody has their issues, and they're just different. They're just different.
And I think it's just continuing to make the choice to continue to show up every day and to own your truth, truly.
Yep.
Like, I mean, clearly I'm someone who needed to leave a relationship and I am better for it. I'm so grateful it happened. I have the 4 most beautiful children I could ever imagine. My home is constantly filled with love and chaos that I just prayed every day for. But that relationship no longer served me. And it was no longer healthy for us and it needed to end. And so be it. And I hope he's better for it. And I hope we're both in a better place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I do really appreciate you saying that, like, just write your own rules, essentially, if I can paraphrase.
Yes.
To be like, do you need to, I don't know, live apart for a little bit and come back to, I don't know, just be creative.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it doesn't mean forever. I think we get into this thing, like, again, back to what's true now. What's true for you now.
Yeah.
You know, and even me, like, I have this still debate sometimes about, like, am I going to have children? Am I not? And thinking about how much of it is societal pressure, how much of it is true for me now, how much of it is, so my partner too was like, I thought we already went through, I thought we covered this. Or like,
I feel like we closed that chapter.
Yeah, I thought we closed it. But I'm like, but I'm a human being. Like, things change. I might change. Like, but today, today it's up for me again.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's important in all our relationships to continue to have this dialogue and be willing to have a dialogue and recognize your partner, your friend, whatever, they're a changing being too, just like you.
Yes.
We're always changing.
Yes.
So can we stay open to that change and shift? And again, the only way to do that is to come back to yourself, come home to yourself.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you have built the most beautiful space for people to be able to connect to themselves in, like, such creative ways, anchored in senses, anchoring in detox from all of the digital, and truly, like, connecting and being inspired, and then having someone next to you then in community that you can then share that love or appreciation or like-mindedness with.
Exactly.
Is there anything better than when someone asks you where you got something and you're like, Amazon, can you believe it? It's like when someone says, oh, I love your dress, and you get to be like, it has pockets. I love Amazon because I can experiment with trends and activewear and fashion, beauty, and anything else I really want without having to break the bank. If you're like me and you get a little bit sad, okay, maybe more than a little bit sad, when there's no package at the door, then you are my people. Also, I think we might need help. But until then, visit amazon.com/shop/write your own story co, or click the link in the show notes to shop all my faves in fashion, beauty, home decor, organization, and more. These are treasures you're not going to want to miss.
So one other thing I want to say that's super important about Sweet Gum is that, you know, you were talking about how it feels really good in there and feels luxurious. So while that is true, a huge part of that is the intention and the creators behind it. And I have to mention LaTondra Newton, my designer and former client.
I mean,
at Disney. She is a
queen,
genius.
Yeah.
The most elegant, creative person ever. And with an engineering background, there's nothing she can't do. And she makes the most perfect chocolate chip cookies.
I mean,
like, yeah. Wow. So again, it came to me in a vision too, that she was the one that had to design this home. And I could not have done it without her. And she has been there every step of the way, working with local artisans like Celine Hawkins to take the existing chandelier, for example, that was in the foyer of the old house, and they recreated a new piece together. That it's just absolutely stunning. God. And then also she worked with a guy named Peter Griffin on the table in the dining room.
Table's insane.
Again, and he's a Black woodworker, so female designer for the light, and then Black woodworker. So we're trying to work with as many underrepresented groups as possible too. Yeah. So
she did such a phenomenal job, and like, one, so inspiring from a space perspective, and like truly just gets all the creative juices flowing. But I love that she is an engineering background, Disney,
corporate, exactly, but
artist, and
with a fine jewelry line, I have to say. Yeah, and she already did a whole show at Idlewild.
Oh my God,
yeah,
really?
So she's been doing that for years.
Yeah.
So yes,
but I want women to take away from that, not only just the genuine appreciation that she deserves, but also that, like, oh my gosh, you can be so many things. You don't have to be the same thing that you said you were going to be forever and ever. And I think I really had to put that down. I was like, no, I said I was going to be corporate. I said I was going to be marketing. And I'm like, no, I've reinvented myself so many times because I just have to be true to who I am. And it sounds like she's done the same.
Exactly.
And like, look at the beautiful things that she's created because of it.
Yes. And the intention. So it's like, you can feel, that's why it's so important, like what we do in the home, the events that we have, and the people who come through it.
Yeah.
Every single thing matters because, everything's energy.
Everything is energy.
You can feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to create, it's not a co-working space. It truly is a sanctuary.
Yeah.
Yes,
I've been there.
Yes.
I do know. Okay. So when we think about how the sanctuary comes to life, and if we want to get people in Cincinnati to go check it out, we've got yoga.
Yep. Our next class is on January 26th. And right now we're really focused on restorative yoga because, again, people need it. We do not need to be like hurrying up. I mean, I'm a big boot camp person, tennis person, I'm very high energy.
Right. Same for same.
But I need time to do nothing. And people need permission to just lie down, let our hips open, let our hearts open. So we've been having these juicy classes Sunday evenings. Yes, with candles and lavender scents. And
what time on Sunday?
5.
I'll be
so
there.
The 26th, we'll put the link somewhere. Yeah.
Amazing.
So juicy.
Are they usually every Sunday, typically?
Every other now. And we'll be adding things. But again, in the spirit of creating a new way of being, I'm trying to get out of this urgency mindset. Like our business has to be exactly how we want it to be right out of the gate. No, we're going to grow in a way that feels sustainable for me and for the others working with us.
For all of those who are starting businesses, please take a note. This is not a rocket.
Yeah. Even though it looks like on social media that everybody kind of becomes a success overnight, they don't.
They sure don't.
The other thing we are doing, we have memberships that are, kind of invite only or through our network. We're going to keep it very small. So we're in our beta stage right now so that we get learning from people. And also we're going to have events like the art event that you went to.
So inspiring.
Yeah. To highlight local creators and makers and also have conversations. I'm definitely going to have one with you
I would love that.
about things that people aren't talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
like perimenopause. I mean, it seems like everybody's talking about it now, but they're not really.
But they don't know. None of us know what we're saying.
Yeah, none of us know what we're saying.
Because I'm like, I still don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I was
at what are you doing?
The doctor yesterday, like, wait, what? And she was like, I don't know, the thing she said.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so we need to. So we're going to be having all sorts of conversations like that,
and that is like through
around the fire.
And that is like the one of the biggest pieces of inspiration for this show is to have just more open, honest conversations where women are just saying their truth because that's what it just makes you feel safe and seen and valued and just all of it. So I would love to be a part of that.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
God, thank you. So we want to inspire people to write their own story and know that you're not alone.
No one is alone.
No one is alone.
That's the beauty in humanity, right?
Yes. Yeah. We're all in this together.
Yeah. And we just need to stop. I'm talking to myself that I need to stop being so afraid that someone's going to hurt me and just,
I know. And I'm afraid the rug's going to get pulled out at any moment.
Right.
So we got to remind each other.
Right.
We're here. You can be the other rug.
Yeah, right. I got you. Did your rug get pulled out? Here, try this one.
Yeah.
I got you this blanket from Target. Try
and
that
I
for
can
now.
be the knife person.
Yeah, right. Right. And I will be the knife
metaphorical
person.
Knife.
The metaphorical knife person. That's on the tennis court. I am your knife person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need each other.
Yeah.
We need each other.
We do. I also love this concept. Can you, the way you pitched Digital Detox Day to me,
yes.
I was like, oh my God, give me it.
Yes. We started this in LA called Present Day. So a day where people come They surrender their phones. We do a whole intention setting ceremony around it. And then we have a practitioner of some kind come in. We always do yoga. So I will often teach the yoga. This time on January 25th, which is sold out already, which is exciting.
Congrats.
Yes.
That's huge. Being a startup, God, that's huge.
I can't even believe
I'm
it.
so happy for you.
We have Inner Radiant Life coming in, a woman named Sonia, who's going to do this incredible sound bath with us.
Oh, I love sound. They're like, you literally feel like you went to another planet and you don't know which planet it was.
And it realigns your whole body. And we have Juniper Seed and Alicia, who runs this vegan restaurant downtown, the store, like the Finley storefront. So we're having a 3-course meal. So it's a whole day of incredible eating and just workshopping stuff.
So nourishing.
Being alone, but also together with people. So we'll be doing like a new take on vision boards, tactile, creating who we want to be and what we want this next year to be for ourselves.
I love
that.
that.
And then at the end, we close with a fire ceremony where we let things go. And everybody loves fire. Like, who doesn't love fire? God, and then you leave and you feel like you've literally been on a vacation. And it's just really because you were off your phone all day.
God, isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So please come join us for the next one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the way that we get the information on these things, are we following you on social? How do we stay in the loop?
Yeah, so please follow us on social at Sweet Gum _Manor.
Okay.
And the link tree in our bio has a wait list where you can sign up.
Yes.
And get notified.
I was just on that link tree yesterday.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Glad it's working.
It's working. I can confirm it's working.
Thank you.
I love that. I think if you are in the local area and you are able to, I don't know, you deserve it. You deserve this experience. I know we are all time starved and, overcommitted and, we all deserve these types of experiences. Yes. And I can truly attest that the space is transformative and beautiful and inspiring. And it's just, no matter what, you just feel like the corners of your mouth have turned up when you leave. You're like, that was great. That was really great.
And for all the women too, and maybe men, whomever, non-binary folks, for everyone.
All are welcome.
We're in the process of planning a fashion creative event.
Cool.
In the spring.
Okay.
Where we have a very special guest the woman who designed my closet, and she's not an organizer. She is an artist.
Wow.
She also collects all of these vintage pieces. So she has done styling for lots of celebrities. Whatever. We're going to have her collection for view. We're also likely going to be working with Idlewild. So it's going to be a incredible fashion-y thing that we're putting together where we talk about sustainability in fashion and likely talk about how we can plus up our own kind of,
which I love
look.
That it's your expression.
It's empowering.
Ooh, I think
it's not just about clothes for fun.
I love that.
Yeah, stay on the lookout.
Oh, it's going
to be so fun.
That sounds so amazing. And I think fashion is so fun in that it is like, it's less about keeping up with the trends and it's more about a genuine expression of how you're feeling.
And again, coming home, what's true to you?
Yes.
It all comes back to that.
It all comes back to that. Okay. So I think as we part, I want to thank you again so much for your time and your energy and your wisdom. This was just filled my cup right up to the brim. Truly, this couch is a magical place. It is my greatest gift to myself that I get to talk to these amazing women and be so inspired every week. So I just can't tell you how much you have made my day.
Thank you.
Yeah, truly. And if I think about the things that we've hit on, right? We've hit on this notion of the quickest way to heal the world is to heal yourself and to return to your true humanity and to be brave enough to be your true authentic self and to share that beautiful gift with the world in any way, shape, or form. And that this notion of the sanctuary is both the work in and then to connect with like-minded around. And truly, anyone, if you are local, please go check out this space. Get to know Abby. I'm so glad that you picked Cincinnati. We are lucky to have you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
And thanks for all you're doing.
You're
with
welcome.
your
Thank you.
podcast and your work and living your truth, because it's brave.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Truly.
I just got goosebumps. Thank you.
Me too.
Thank you. Oh, you guys, this is just, please, this is one of those episodes that I hope that you save and you listen to over and over again when you're feeling, the swirl in the brain and the energy and the breathe, and just remember what it means to reconnect with yourself. If you have someone who is struggling with anxiety or just feeling out of sorts, this is a great gift to share so that they can find Abby and connect to Sweet Gum. Or if you're not local, because so many of you are not, which I greatly appreciate for you tuning in, there's so many gems in here for how to take care of yourself and how to restore yourself, and therefore in turn restoring humanity. I always say I'm just trying to make this little sliver of my universe just a little bit better than I found it.
Exactly.
And I think you're doing a phenomenal job of that, and that the quickest way to do that, as you have said and as we've said over and over, is to just really turn in. Yeah. To then be able to express back out. Yeah. God, I feel like so peaceful and loving. Oh, this has just been an absolute dream. You guys, everyone go check out Sweet Gum Manor. Smile at the person next to you in the car.
Yes.
Don't be afraid in the woods.
And don't forget to breathe.
All right, you guys. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Well, that's the end of this episode, but promise me, you won't stop here with whatever it is you're feeling or dreaming about. I hope you leave today feeling empowered to live life just as you see fit. If this podcast was helpful to you, it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review on whatever platform you're listening on. I genuinely just want to help women live the life they dream about. So if this type of content tracks with you, subscribe to this podcast or visit our website, writeyourownsstory.co, to download digital courses or to grab a journal and a mug to just dream in and dream with. It's your life, lady. Do you. And just remember, I'm rooting for you, and you've totally got this.